Hey, brothers, how you doing? I welcome you guys to another edition of Old Gold Table Talk. We are excited to be able to come to you today, guys. We have an awesome show that's prepared for you guys. A lot of individuals are having a lot of difficulties right now during this pandemic, building brotherhood. And who's having difficulties, guys, also? Neophytes, guys. Neo, this last year has been something that's different. So we are getting ready to sit around the table and we are getting ready to talk about it, guys. Welcome to Old Gold Table Talk. All right, guys, welcome to Old Gold Table Talk. Brothers, how is everybody doing?
Man, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Oh, wow.
Doing good.
All right, guys. We're gonna have an awesome conversation today. We got all sorts of representation of brothers that's on here, guys. We have Spring 20 Live up in this piece. Okay, that's up in here. Welcome to the show. We have our college brothers up here. We have our grad brothers up in here. We got our advisors up in here, and we got the drinker connoisseur, Mr. Neely, up in here. Check him out. Toasties. Also good, guys. Before we get started, guys, I know it's some of y'all's first time also on Old Gold Table Talk. If you can, we're going to go around the table real quickly, guys. Just give us your name, brothers, actually real quick, your chapter, and let's go ahead and actually give that date. Terrence Hawkins, Beta Nu Lambda, Spring 20. Who's going to be next for me?
I'll jump in here. Brother Jonathan Lindsay, made at the Beta Iota chapter, Winston-Salem State University in the fall of 1995, celebrating my 25th year anniversary this year.
Whoa, that's what I'm talking about, brother. Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody giving you something silver, getting you a gift or anything like that? You getting something?
Man, no.
You ain't getting a watch. All right, brother. Go ahead, brother Allen. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Marcus Allen, Beta Nu Lambda, Spring 20.
Awesome.
All right, brother James Six made it Eta Zeta, Bowie State University, 1981.
My name is Brother Kenny Smith. I'm a member of the Mutau chapter, and I am also a Spring 20 initiate.
That's what I'm talking about. That's our college brother, guys. He is working. You can't see his face right now, but he's still here. I want y'all to know he's here. Okay, he is here working, and guys, and giving up his time also as well. Welcome, brother. Next up,
Brother Michael Boswell, Beta Nu Lambda, Spring 20.
Awesome.
So I'll go David Neely, Beta Nu Lambda now. Iota Eta. Yeah, you want to know my original chapter. David Neely,
everybody got the glass in the hand. Always go in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, that is not wine. That's just a wine glass.
Cut them off.
Yeah. Spring 90, Iota Eta. May 20th, 1990. Around about 11:53 p.m. is when I first believe.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. I like that. Guys, we're going to have an awesome conversation because we got a great mixture of actual brothers up here, okay? We have brothers, of course, that, like Neil, Spring 20. I mean, you're hearing actually Spring 20 is actually here. We have actually brothers that's actually building around and building, and we all know that this has been a different year. And we're hearing across actually brothers that, as one is like, how can we build brotherhood? How can we build brotherhood? So on two parts on this, let's kind of talk about that, what's going on and get real with it. But there's also come on this, what kind of ideas that we can help the next brother and other individuals actually out right now, that can actually listen to us and stuff and give us some examples. Guys that are actually watching, please make your comments. You can make your comments and bottom stuff. We'll pop the comments up. And if somebody want to join the conversation as well, send me a little link on the comment and stuff. And we'll actually send you a link so you can join the conversation as well. So let's actually start off actually real quick. Brothers, let's start with actually Brother Hicks. I want to start with actually you, actually, sir. Actually, tell us as far as actually, brotherhood, what it means to you, how brotherhood is, and we're gonna see from the, you on how it is, what it should be, and then seeing from the Neils, it's gonna look at you like, that ain't what happened this year. But go ahead, sir. Go ahead, start the conversation off with us.
Well, one of the things, again, brotherhood is a unique thing. It's a bonding. It's something that is shared by an individual, individuals that you have a common ground. And again, that is something that is built on over a period of time. Things that you have in common, that they have a tendency of coming together. As they say, birds of a feather flock together. But it all starts in open communications, getting to know one another, getting to know individual strengths and weaknesses, and then building off of that. Like they say, it takes a village to put together a good foundation. And again, you dwell off of each other's strengths and each other's weaknesses. That's what helps with that brotherhood. Being able to, uh, again, it's hard for individuals to lead if they can't follow. So you got to be able to follow the individuals and be there, when they need you. That's what it's all about. Be able to lend a helping hand. You don't always have to be the shining star, but you'd be surprised what you can accomplish by being in the background, and you'd be just as noticeable in the background by providing support when it's needed. And I think those are some of the fundamental things of being around, making yourself available when things are tough. That's when the tough get going. And I think that's when individuals appreciate what you do and how you do it for them.
Awesome. Brother Lindsay, actually, do you agree with this?
I do, absolutely. I mean, brotherhood is about building that bond, and getting, I think, even beyond brotherhood to family once you've taken the time to invest in it. For me, I remember growing in this chapter. I've been in this chapter for 20 years now. This is 21st year, and taking the time out and going to conventions and sitting and talking. And I think alpha is built and brotherhood is built in those times where you really take a time to sit back and get to know people. And it's so valuable. It's something I don't think you can replace virtually, sadly. And we've had to work in that world for just about a year now. But I think spending time with one another and really getting to know people beyond what you're doing on the committee or what program you're working on right now is where that brotherhood is built.
You say a lot of actually good stuff actually there as far as going there yourself and building and stuff. I like the bond actually think also as well. Let's get another that brother actually kneeling stuff actually 90s is actually what you're actually saying. And I know you're also an advisor and stuff in the like doing a membership and you're doing a lot of things like that. What are you seeing and hearing also about brotherhood and how you feel about it, sir?
Yeah, well, I think you can't have fraternity without brotherhood. I mean, without it, you are just a club of sorts. And you are, and I know we've had several conversations about this, Brother Hawkins, about the current environment that Brother Lindsay mentioned being so virtual because of quarantine. And it's hard to establish the I guess knowing each other, the process of Brother Hicks mentioned, just being around each other that he alluded to, so that you can build those bonds, so that you can get to know an individual, so that you can know what your strengths and weaknesses are, so that you can depend on each other. And the quarantine has presented a very unique challenge for that. But brotherhood, because of quarantine, in my opinion, has never been more important to our organization and others like us.
Okay. So guys, we are hearing now, what brotherhood is about and what it should be, right? What brotherhood is, what it should be. Brother Smith, are you feeling that right now? I know being a college brother also as well. And, some of your brothers I actually know right after, you cross the sands, you all of a sudden, you're not even around. You don't see those individuals that you're saying that you're supposed to know each other, build that bond and things. What kind of difficulties is going on those college campuses, sir?
Well, I mean, just in general, like COVID has totally changed the dynamics of not only the fraternity, but just life as itself. Because even when we were, entering the house. It was difficult because food spots aren't open, everyone's closed, and we're not able to meet people. Just that natural human interaction, we're not able to enjoy anymore. So just regular interactions, not able to see family, and then trying to build a brotherhood in spite of that's very difficult because we're not able to enjoy the our family members and whatnot. So now you're meeting people that you never met before. So it's just very difficult out that. But it is difficult because you're not able to go, to the same parties, meet the same people, go to the same spots. Like, Utah chapters in UNC Charlotte, and it's like totally different from what it was years ago. You see like hundreds of kids when class lets out. Now you barely see anybody. I'm a resident advisor, and one of my freshman residents said there was a lot of people out one day, and it was only because there are 3 tours. So it's just changed so dramatically due to COVID. But in spite of that, we're still doing our best to meet with one another and reach out to other brothers in our cluster, such as Phi, Delta, and Alpha Omicron as well. It's just like difficult with the COVID restrictions. So
exactly. Brother Allen, tell us actually what's going on there. I know you actually spoke actually a while back about your brotherhood and things of that nature. How are you actually dealing with that also? The same thing, like in the clusters, all of us there, Brother Allen, Brother Smith, Brother Boswell, myself. Talk to us a little bit.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we hearing actually what it's supposed to be. We're going to get real old gold table talk. Y'all know how we do, right? We hearing about what it's supposed to be. Let's actually talk now about what has happened this last year.
No, I think in this last year, just kind of what personally the implications of COVID and just the whole feeling of the brotherhood. I mean, it's difficult because for me, I don't get to see my brothers. I don't get to see my chapter. I feel the most of that brotherly love when I'm around my brothers and being able to do things. For me, it's very hard. The biggest, I guess, the biggest obstacle for me is trying to make sure that I feel a part of it, because I can wear the letters, but if I don't feel like I'm making a connection or working towards that common goal that our brotherhood is built upon, for me, it's very hard to feel connected to it until I have those moments with my brothers. And that's how it is, in the moments that it has happened, it's been great, but it's, right now, it's just, it does weigh heavily on me to not be able to do it more often, be able to, when you become used to it, or, being able to be around people, it completely changes that dynamic.
Okay, awesome. Well, Boswell, you like myself have seen the fraternity at a part and saw brotherhood without us being in the house, right? And then we actually in the house and not being able to experience some of those things that we've seen for this last year. How's that affecting your stuff, and what do you actually think about that, sir? That difficulty going through the pandemic?
Well, I mean, certainly the isolation has been difficult, but I think I would answer this question a little bit differently than the rest of you have. I feel pretty fortunate to be on a committee that's pretty well connected. We communicate pretty often, and then also, of course, within our line, there are several of you that I talk with on a regular basis. So I think I am having an experience of brotherhood as described previously, but just on a smaller scale. Obviously, it would be nice to meet more people, go to the chapter meetings in person, have conversations with some one-on-ones with other brothers. But I think important for me was some of the bonds that I developed prior to our process, because it's those brothers that I've been able to keep in close contact with. And then, of course, our line, members within the line that was, obviously some are closer than others, but those relationships have kind of sustained me throughout this first year. So I would say that my experience in brotherhood has been a good one, in spite of this pandemic, only because of some of the close connections I made with folks prior to our process, and then those within our line. So.
guys, this is a great start. This is a great start because, I want people to, understand actually what we actually talked about, not just, about what brotherhood is, and then about somebody Neil saying that their experience of actual brotherhood. I believe, guys, of course, the brotherhood is actually something that you actually make it, and it can happen. Experiences may be different, but it can happen when we are talking to our significant others, if we actually have them. Different one of us say, I met mine's this way, I met mine's that way, but the love came. So we got different experiences again, but we still actually close. I said it because I believe that brotherhood can still be built even during the pandemic. Why? I've seen people getting married and only saw each other online. They got close some kind of way. Bottom line, right? If you want to get close, if you want to get close, I ain't gonna say how they did, why they did, but if you want to get close, okay, you can do certain things. So let's roll into, because there's a lot of actually people actually talking about, yes, this is what it is, this is what it actually was, this is what we can't do, and they think something is actually left out. Let's go into, hey, how do we build brotherhood during this time? What do we want? How do we doing? I want to hear from actually Brother Smith actually first. Go back to actually Brother Smith, the college campus. Or Brother Smith, you mentioned that, you've seen the parties, used to be in the parties and saw that. And I know you've seen that before, right? You cross over it and now you're not able to do that. What you as a college brother said that you would want to help you in that situation of brotherhood? What would you actually talk to? Look, talk to your sponsor. Let's talk to Brother Hicks real quick. Those who don't know, Brother Hicks is the advisor actually of Mutah Tacticals also as well. What would you actually say that if we say that the brotherhood can help you, what would that be, sir?
I'd say more like weekly interactions, because I was actually a member of the Alpha Battalion as well in 2017 when I graduated from high school, and I saw how Beta Lambda function, that they're always meeting up on the I think Monday nights, and like you have brothers from like around the greater Charlotte area meeting up, just talking for the brotherhood, just planning things. And I was just the high school seeing like, wow, these are grown men dedicating so much. Like, this is a true brotherhood. It's like something I want to be a part of. But really want to make me join Alpha was when I saw collegiate brothers. We went to Duke, we went to NC Central, we went to Bethune-Cookman down in Daytona, Orlando, Florida, and we saw how they were easily willing to dedicate their time just off the word of another brother. Like, we need you to showcase Alpha and the college experience to some high school brothers. That really just sold me. So just seeing like how great the brotherhood could be, and then COVID happened, it kind of like takes that away. It's kind of like hurtful. Like, wow, like I see what it could have been, but due to COVID, it prevents my experience from that. So I'll say just weekly interactions with not only Beta Lambda, but just other collegiate brothers. Like, we just meet on a regular basis, because that's how brotherhood is formed. Like, you have to continue to strengthen that bond and maintain that bond. So I'll say just weekly interactions, just talking to one another, just getting to know each other better, and just getting on that familiar level with one another, as well as I'll say going to events like volunteering and whatnot, because typically collegiate what's called brothers and chapters, we have our own events, but we could do, I'll say, more collaborations, especially due to COVID, since we're all going to be online doing like Zoom and other type of things. So we could definitely do a better job of that. But yeah, definitely.
Now, like what you actually said, you said that you've seen the experience of not just your one chapter, but all across. You've seen this chapter, that chapter, all through them and stuff, and they had a brotherhood between the whole fraternity and stuff. And this is hinted at a little bit. No homecomings, no different things and stuff, and coming in as far as doing it. That's good. Brother Hicks actually talked to him on that. How could Mutah, and other brothers actually fill out some of those gaps?
Well, me personally, I think one of the biggest ways is through communications. Even myself personally, after coming into the house over 40 years ago, every week we have a happy hour with my initiation chapter. So 40 years later, we still, every Friday night, we get on Zoom and we sit there and we share life experiences, job, family. We even relate back to old school when we were going through the process. But it's just an opportunity for us to connect with each other. And again, sharing information, And again, building on that brotherhood of just communicating. We can't get together personally, but we can get together and we can get together on Zoom. And what we do is we try to change it up, the topics. So every week when we get on, we are discussing different different things. It might be 1975. It might be their week. The next week might be 1980. So every line has an opportunity to.
Now you talking about lines in 1975? No, I'm just like, go ahead.
We have, but everybody gets an opportunity to host a week, and basically they got the floor, and I mean they bring a lot of good knowledge and information to the happy hour. And again, it's just a matter of, again, that's how we get together and socialize. And we probably just need to do a little bit more of that. And I think when we do that, you get to know people. When you get to know people, you get to know, again, what you have in common with them. And when you learn what you have in common with people, it brings you closer and tighter together. And the only way that you're going to do that is to communicate with them to find out, hey, brother, what's going on in your life? It might be an experience that I've already had that I can share with you that you can build upon. And that's what it's all about.
Like it. Yeah. Brother Lindsay, actually, do you want to add, sir?
For me, I think it's a continuation. It's the things that happen outside of what we do as alpha men, right? So we do service, we advocate for our communities, but it's at times that 10 or 15 minutes you get to have a conversation with someone. You know, I've sat and had conversations with Brother Hicks or Brother Neely in the past and just talked about life and things that are going on. And I think it builds upon one on each time. It helps grow that relationship. And now I feel like, because I know these two brothers best on the phone, if I need something in their field or even not in their field, I can come to them. And I have no doubt that if they needed something that I can help them with, they would come to me. And having somebody, you know, David Neely's 100% solid brother. If I need something from David, I would have no problem picking up the phone and calling him because we've built the time to build a relationship, right? And he knows it goes
even
both
though
ways.
he doesn't drink. I actually forget that he doesn't drink. He's so cool. I forget he don't even drink.
And you still want to meet with him?
Every time I invite him to drink, he's like, I don't drink. I'm like, really? I'm not going to remember that. I'm going to invite him again. He's going to tell me he doesn't drink. I don't know if he doesn't drink.
I listen to your podcast. I don't even drink either. So
I love it. And brother Lindsay, you are also the advisor for Phi Delta as well. You know, are they having some of the same talks and things of that nature as well? Share it with us.
Yeah, they have the same problems. And one of the things that happens, especially with the young brothers that we just took over, so they're Neos, they don't understand Alpha in a way because they were never really able to get together once they cross. So they're disparate in location. They can't get together and really have those conversations and meetings that they would have otherwise. And then as an advisor, you throw on the pressure of managing through COVID and all of that brings up. It makes Alpha a lot harder. But they found ways to over time build out. One of the things that impressed me about the young brothers that they're a lot more adaptable than those of us that are more senior. So they're used to.
You talk to you, Dr. Boswell. You hear when you say it, right? Sure. I'll tell you. Go ahead. Sir.
I got the grader to back it up. So I mean, they hop on a Zoom call like it's nothing, and you know they just keep the conversations going. Found a way to make it work. I still feel that there's in person just delivers a better experience, but we have to make it work with what we got. You know, we don't want to put our health at risk just to sit down and talk.
Yeah. Awesome.
So you found other ways to build.
Brother Nadia, Brother Hicks was actually talking about his lines to get together weekly, doing some calls, doing that. Do you hear that often, or your line doing the same thing, that to actually stay together? I'm sure you had actually types of meetings actually before. How are you guys doing that as well?
So my line, well, let's start with my chapter. We have a Facebook group, and we chime in. We don't have ongoing calls like this. We have a whole other situation going on where we're trying to get back on the yard. Sometimes things happen. Luckily, everybody got to keep their mortgages. Anyway, my line, I think I'm actually the only active brother on my line out of 7. That happens a lot. So there's a big reclamation opportunity, and that doesn't have anything to do with COVID. But as far as keeping in touch with each other, we do post often in our Facebook group. I think that this is a multi-pronged solution, whether it be, but I will say, while it's multi-pronged, I do believe it is based mainly on social media. Whether it's by telephone, well, that's not social media, but whether it's IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is, calls like this, this is the solution path. We have to get together virtually like this.
Okay. I like to hear Brother Alan Smith and actually Boswell, because I'm hearing actually a couple of different things and myself, as I'm hearing from his brother Lindsay and actually Brother Neely, I'm hearing not just the line, but chapter. And I'm hearing not just the year, but other years. It's almost like get away from your line. And I heard actually before, I heard cluster from actually Brother Smith also as well. So I'll let Smith and Dr. Boswell, what do you guys actually think, or would it help you to do it if you stop thinking about, or if we stop thinking about lines and say, hey, how about the whole cluster come up with, as Brother Hicks was actually saying, a weekly Friday call with different topics and actually different things and stuff like that. Spring 20, what do you think about that?
I think that would be a good idea because we have a common experience to draw from to initiate some of the conversations. As you guys know, when we first crossed, all we could do was Zoom, and we did that weekly, and that really kind of enriched our relationships. I think we all can say that we're closer now than we were the day that we crossed over. And a good deal of that is due to the weekly Zoom calls that we all participated in. Now, of course, over time that sort of dissipated, but again, I think a cluster call would be interesting because we all have that common experience that we can draw from and start some conversations, and I think that would lead to other conversations that would deepen some relationships. So I think that's a great idea.
Brother Anand, what do you think? Brother Smith, what do you think about that? Would you say that your line and stuff, would be open to actually something like that as well?
I feel like we'd definitely be open to it, and I feel like it's definitely necessary because we can see from previous brothers, like we went to like a couple parties, like for birthdays and whatnot, like people moving out. So like we see like Mutai chapter, we see old brothers from like previous lines, and then we see like AL brothers, and we see some couple Phi Delta brothers. So like, oh wow, like we're having like difficulty like trying to reach out and like seeing other brothers in our cluster like that due to COVID, but it's great to see like the potential to like network and like be close with other brothers that are so close to us. So it really gives me hope. So I really feel like we should definitely do something like this. So that's a great idea as well.
Hey, Brother Hawkins, I like to throw something in here about Brothers Keeper. Originally, of course, the program is pointed towards taking care of our senior brothers in person, taking care of their yards, whatever they need around the house, just helping them out. I think it would be useful to expand the reach of the program now to include alumni, younger brothers, even undergraduate brothers. For instance, TO is it has partnered with Beta Nu Lambda's Brothers Keeper program, and I've asked them to consider reaching out to their alumni. This is 25, 26-year-old guys who graduated college, left Davidson, but they're having their undergraduate brothers reach out to them. I think there's a way, even just by telephone, to reach out and do some of the stuff that Brother Smith was talking about, because we can't always be in person, but to build that relationship any way we can, I think is, if you remember some of the things you went through when you crossed, always moving forward, there's no backward steps. We have to use what's available to us to move the process of brotherhood forward. And I think Brothers Keeper is a great way to do that.
And one of the things I think we have to be cognizant of is having these larger meetings. Some people don't do well in large settings. So one-on-one settings give people an opportunity to really build out relationships that you may not get in a Zoom call with 20 or 40 brothers on it.
Yeah.
And also, if you again, to stay connected, is random texts just to a brother or a simple phone call. I mean, I do that myself every now and then to do a health and welfare, just simple text to say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how far a simple text during these kind of times will go.
Right.
Not everybody has the time to make a phone call, but a simple text will go a long ways to extend that olive leaf and to create that brotherhood.
Man, you never know what you're going to find out when you call a brother. When you call an alpha man, you never know what you're going to get, what you're going to receive, how you're going to, or what you're going to give.
Yeah, and it might be that simple text might just make that brother's day, just because you reached out to him and said, "Hey, how you doing?"
Okay. What do we tell some of the brothers that honestly don't know the other brothers? Because I was hearing actually some of the brothers that when they cross over, because they didn't like the college brothers, especially. There wasn't no campus to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go out of state. They feel alone. They're there. Or what we're talking about right now can help that situation out.
Banana daiquiris.
What was that?
I said banana daiquiri. This is a song by Prince. Don't worry about it. Young people won't get that one, but
I think one thing I would say, I think the communication lines have to be they have to be multi-directional, but certainly bi-directional. I think up to this point in my experience, it seems as if the conversations are really one directional. I mean, it's typically the Neo reaching out to some of the older brothers, trying to stay connected. Rarely does it go the other way. And I think now that, it's only been a year, but I can certainly see how it would be somewhat my responsibility to also reach out to the new folks coming in after us, and how important that will be to me just based on my experience in the first year. I mean, one of the most memorable moments I had immediately after, maybe immediately after and a few months after, was I had two brothers that I met during the process but didn't really know that well, who reached out to me to check on me after the pandemic started and the quarantine and everything. And I thought that was unbelievable because I didn't know them that well, but they knew me from one meeting, and they felt it important to reach out and say, "Hey, how you doing? How did it go? Welcome to the house." And that meant the world to me.
Yeah.
Even one of my friends from high school I hadn't spoken to in years reached out to me on Messenger just to say welcome to the house, and I was like floored that would happen. So I just think it can't just be one directional where the younger brothers are reaching out to the older brothers to try to build relationships. I think some of the older brothers also have to reach out, because that gives the younger brothers the courage and the confidence to kind of reach out to others. Again, we're just leading by example.
That's a really great
I think that's
point.
the brother keepers. I think the brother keepers, what you were talking about, lead on that too. I mean, Brother Lindsay, go ahead. I'm sorry, sir.
It's a really great point about having that bi-directional communication, and we're all waiting for somebody to reach out. Somebody has to take the initiative, and this may be where we use the infrastructure that we have in these committees to say, all right, membership committee, shoot out names and phone numbers of the newest initiative, right? And just say, brothers, take a minute and reach out to the brothers. I wouldn't know how to contact half of them. I mean, that's something I would love to do, just to check on people. I mean, you learn, and you grow your network, And
Brother
you
Lindsay,
never know
they
when we're gonna need
actually
stuff.
But
to a
y'all see how
man,
Brother
they
Nita
tell it
bring
down
out
the
a
road
boy?
from
He
the
brought out a
brother.
pad, didn't he? Brother Nita brought out a pad. Time you heard it, Brother Nita brought out a pad. He said
To a
he can be.
man, to a man, Brother Lindsay, TDO said they don't want to hear from you.
It makes sense. It really makes sense. They don't want this the goofiness I got. They
I didn't say that. I did not say that, Brother Lindsay. Nope.
I'm just messing.
This is good. This is good, Christ. Conversation and stuff like that. I like the actual part of far as actually reaching out. Actually, Brother Boswell was actually talking about. How would you actually feel about that, actually, Brother Allen? Somebody
No,
reached out to you and did that.
It for me, and this personally, a lot of older brothers that's been in chapter already reach out to me. So I will say that's one thing that I kind of get a lot of. It may not happen every day, may not happen every week, but Brother Hicks, we have good conversations whenever I get a call, or from Big Jim. Big Jim, he'll just call me randomly, and we'll be on about call for about an hour. It's all, but each time that happens, that reminds me of that brotherhood. That reminds me of how it feels, and that keeps me kind of motivated with everything. So I definitely agree with that. I believe those the older brothers reaching out to those Neos or the newer brothers, the younger brothers, that builds confidence, because it's like, oh, you're thinking about me. That makes you feel that connection.
Also,
Also
how would you feel
motivates
about
you
that,
to
actually,
go
Brother
to
Smith? If a brother Neely, Brother Hits, Brother Lindsay actually just reached out to you and stuff, how would that actually make you feel, sir? Brother
I feel like it
Smith.
made me feel like special, like to just know, like that's the thing that really got me about like the whole what's called alpha team as well. The fact that like they take time out their busy days. To me, alpha men, we're busy men. We're here changing the world. We're not just like lazy people that just like are in this group. We're always trying to better ourselves. So like the fact you just take a few minutes out your day to like say, oh, I'm thinking about this young brother right now. So let's see how he's doing. Like it means a lot to me personally, because I'm thinking like, not only are you dealing with your own personal stuff, but you're willing to like reach out to a younger brother who like you don't even know what he's going through. He could be like really in like a tough situation. So hearing that could really like change your soul's perspective, not only about the fraternity, but just about like life in general. Like wow, people do care, So I just feel like every little interaction really just plays up the whole butterfly effect. So I really feel like that's valuable.
Brother Hawkins, there was at a men's Bible study I used to go to early on. I forget what the book was, but it was
The
describing
Bible. The Bible.
Man, you trying to make me cuss on this public forum.
Talking about the Bible and go end up cussing.
Oh, though you have never been in the cut.
Oh, all right.
Not that my direction. Let me say it that way.
Okay.
But we did have these extra biblical books. Let me say it that way. I don't remember the name of it, but some of them described masculine love, and I think that brotherhood is a synonym for one type of masculine love, and the way it is often expressed, this masculine love, is to chase, to pursue. And when we pursue our friends by calling them, by visiting them, by listening to them, I do think that is brotherhood in action. And that is, and I'm using brotherhood as a synonym for love. So I whenever I receive a call, I remember, I think George Adams was chairing the Brotherhood Keepers Committee by himself at the time, and he assigned some young guy to me over at AO, and I could see his face. He played football over there. I can't remember his name over there. But he was supposed to come to my house and cut my grass and say hello to me. And that was a little off. That put that, hey, I'm prior Army. So I want to cut my grass, man. I got my grass. I got everything over here on this property. I don't need you coming over here, but you can call me. And but it was a good experience just to know and hear from somebody, from a brother that, to I think Brother Smith's point, that we're just calling you, man, just because we're frat, and that's enough. That is enough. So it is love.
I love it. I love it. Any other comments, guys? This has actually been a great conversation. I'm getting out this stuff, and I'm sure that actually Spring 20 is going to get together and do some type of Zoom call and stuff. With the whole cluster. I'm assuming, right? The whole cluster, just not actually aligned and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and actually make that happen. I'm hoping individuals that's hearing this as well, would actually follow suit, as well, because it's a great idea as far as doing. Just not the line as far as doing it. But any other comments, actually, Brother Hicks, or anybody have any other kind of comments, what to say before we kind of wrap up this call? Because I think it's been actually very helpful conversation.
Well, and again, even with the Zoom call or whatnot, it doesn't necessarily have to start off with the cluster. Again, it's that elephant in the room. It's like one bite at a time. If you started out with just one line, one chapter, doing it, and then building upon that, like Brother Lindsay said, not everybody feels comfortable with a 20 or 30 person Zoom call, but starting off small and then big. I mean, again, personally, my initial chapter 41 years ago, we didn't just have 150 people all on one Zoom call. We started off.
Y'all didn't have facts.
Hey, watch it now. We started off small.
That's that internet, right?
And then we built up our relationship, and now we got the whole chapter, and it's different brothers every week. But again, I would suggest just start off small and see how it goes small, and then bring people into the fold over a period of time and see how it goes. But again, the main thing is getting connected with one another and sharing what their life experiences are, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, because you never know how you can help another brother.
Awesome. Anybody else got any other last comments? It was awesome, Brother Hicks.
I actually want to add on to what Brother Hicks said, and this is just popped up in my head, but maybe for, like you said, not doing like the whole cluster, but maybe we do chapter to chapter, Beta Nu Lambda to Phi Delta and so on, to do it like once a week. We let everybody kind of mingle and all that, and then work towards that, bringing the whole cluster together, get everyone kind of comfortable with one another on a chapter to chapter basis, and go from there. That's a way to kind of take it in pieces.
Brother Hawkins, I'm going to agree with everything that everyone has said, and I will add that it's going to take one or more individuals to intentionally create the environment for this to happen. And Beta Nu Lambda, between Brother Harvey, the president of the chapter, the guys we affectionately call the Bowie Brothers, it's Brother Hicks and Brother Wilson and Brother Mahoney, myself. There was an intentional creation of an environment during quarantine after you guys crossed to keep you connected. There were a couple of months there that we were struggling to find out what it was, but there was always this fierce movement, this fierce conversation going on about how do we connect our brothers to ourselves, our new brothers to ourselves. So I don't think this happening on the undergraduate level, but I do think it is extremely important that that brothers on the undergraduate level who have been in the chapter for more than a year intentionally call, email, or Brother Hicks fax other brothers and just say hello. Without it, you will not create the environment. You will not enhance your brotherly connections. It's going to take an individual, one man, one alpha, to work his A that way.
So, what's that fax number, Brother Hicks? I just had to.
Hey, brother Daly, I need you to come show some love and cut my grass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other brothers? You got any other comments?
Oh man.
Oh, brother, let's run. All right. Well, awesome, guys. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for actually joining us here again on Old Gold Table Talk, guys, to come around this conversation, important conversation. But I know for myself, I got a lot out of it myself. And I'm sure that other individuals, whether they're listening to us live, whether they're listening to us on replay, is going to have a lot of information. Information where Brother Smith, you the first undergrad on Old Gold Table Talk, bro. What's up? You the first one on it, man. So actually, welcome. Don't let it be your last time, too. I'm sure you have to be back actually with us and stuff and doing some things also as well. We're all brothers, right? Sounds good, guys. With that being actually said, guys, now we are going to have actually something actually better than lamb. Just remember, we do have the Brotherhood Social on the 19th. Brotherhood Social is the 19th, where that chapter gets together on, and I guess after we can come up after with actually some actual topics. We haven't talked about that, but we are going to be looking at a little bit of tasting going on there in conjunction a little bit with the Spirit Club. Sorry, Brother Lindsay. So we gonna with the Spirit Club. Sorry, I just started after. We'll be able to actually mix a little ice and water or something like that for you. But we'll be able to learn stuff, guys. But we're just gonna have fun and stuff and this talk, building that brotherhood. Just remember that we do that on the Brotherhood Social, guys, every 19th of the month. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe for the YouTube channel. Subscribe actually for the like on Facebook, so you can continue to get that information as well. All right, brothers. I want to thank each and every one to hold on for a second as we go ahead and end the call. Hold on actually for a second actually with us, guys. And with that being said, 1-9, everybody.
06.
06. I actually appreciate you guys. Have a great day.